Obviously, school safety has unfortunately had to be a primary focus in all that we do and our planning. And given the way things have changed in the last decade or so, it's something that we have to think about on a daily basis. We have to plan for, we have to be prepared for. And when there's opportunities to maximize resources, we do so every chance we get. And I know that all of us have had to adjust to our new buzzing systems, which I think have gone extremely well. And we're able to do that with using resources from our previous 2010 bond that I alluded to. And also, we were awarded $240,000 from the Michigan State Police Safety Grant. That our work has been delayed because of the COVID, but increasing some cameras and actually looking at having sensors on every single door within the district, so that any door that is open, that is not supposed to be open, that a camera feed is clicked on, and we're alerted immediately. And we are utilizing those funds to create that safety measure. But also within the buildings, we wanted to take a look at utilizing this bond to secure some things that we need to do. And I've gone to several school safety seminars, worked with some officers and really with the experts in the field, that asking them, hey, where should we put in our resources? Because there's a lot of things you can do. There's a lot of vendors out there, a lot of people trying to sell us things. But the research shows and the evidence shows from those who are directly involved, so some key things that they really want us to focus on. And that is, securing our point of entry, which is what we've done with our buzzing systems. But we're going to even take that a step further by putting a special glass covering shield that helps just secure the glass at main entrances and key points around the building, so that the glass can't be shattered. It actually helps if somebody wanted to take a hammer, or even, unfortunately, the thought of a bullet striking it. It would take several attempts to try to shatter the glass. And so I know this is something some of our neighboring districts have already done, but we're looking to do this as well. So this is securing windows. And really, when it comes down to it, the number one thing that we've been told by our law enforcement experts in school safety is that making sure that our doors can be locked and remain locked, when they need to be during the school day. A locked door is a great deterrent to anybody trying to access any room within a school building. And right now, our doors are old in a lot of our buildings, and the way they have to be locked is a teacher has to actually step out into the classroom with their key, turn the lock, and step back in. And that poses a problem, obviously, because we don't want somebody having to step out in the hallway in an emergency. And then often we have guest teachers, or we have maybe there's students in a room, and the door needs to be able to be locked from the inside and not require a key. We still have to have key entries because we don't want somebody to be locked in the room. But what we're going to do is we're going to have the kind of term bolt locks from the inside put on every single door in every single classroom within the district. And so that is a relatively cheaper way to create one of the safest things that we can do, which is securing the classrooms. And so once again, this came from the experts that we sought input from. And so we feel, along with the school safety grant we're using and what we've already done, and then what we look to continue to do, we're continuing to make improvements in terms of school safety. And also with that, just increasing our camera, updating cameras where they need to be updated, cameras in parking lots and entry points of our buildings, but also on every single school bus that we're looking to do, and upgrading the system. Right now, the system is very cumbersome. When we have to pull video, it can take our transportation director, Ms. Sue Millard's, hours to try to pull video. And there's newer technology and makes it much more efficient and easier to do that. So we need to make some upgrades, but we want to ensure that every single school bus has quality cameras to ensure safety for our students. Other large piece of the puzzle here is athletics, and just extracurricular activities I'll kind of throw in there as well. Once again, athletics is a driving force in many of our public school districts. And so we want to make sure that these are not only up to date and appropriate for our athletic programs, but also, once again, for our community resources, because our gyms are used from a variety of community teams, and even outside of our own community and other places within Washtenaw and Livingston County. And they're used 12 months out of the year, especially during the summertime, with the evolution of travel softball, and we've got volleyball, and we're getting requests from all types of organizations and other schools to utilize, which is great because it's a great way to highlight our facilities and our community, and hopefully they stay here and spend money in our businesses and our restaurants. But it also helps bring in revenue as well because there are fees to rent those things. And so these are just a couple of things really quick. When we take a look at the list, you can see more specifically some of the athletic pieces there. But obviously, we have equipment that we need to replace. But more specifically, we're going to replace track surfaces, both at West Reader Field and at the high school. I know that we're going to take a look at some courts. More specifically, we want to replace the gym floor at Navigator, and this actually ties into our community piece, is that we know that pickleball is a huge and upcoming sport, especially for our senior citizen community, and we want to make sure that we can provide an indoor pickleball court that can be dedicated to run leagues or sessions almost on a nightly basis. I go to Hamburg Fitness Center, and I know every morning for 3 hours, their courts, their pickleball courts are 100% packed. And it's a great way to stay healthy. It's a lifelong sport. And so we wanted to kind of make a dedicated area so our senior citizens can access that. We do have pickleball lines on our tennis courts behind Pathfinder School, but obviously in the wintertime, we can provide this in an indoor and a very comfortable setting. One thing I'm excited about is we want to create a practice field of turf. It's very similar to what Dexter did, but we want to create a practice field that's marked just like a football field for not only holding events, but more specifically for our marching band. It's been a struggle for years to try to get time for our band members and our marching band, which is such an integral part of our programming and our athletic program. And often they have to wait till practice is over and practice at 5:30, 6 o'clock at night to 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. And so what we wanted to do is create a field that they can utilize and take advantage of and, have marching band practice right after school at 3 o'clock. So, they can get out there at 3, be done at 5. And just it provides more opportunities. We've got the space at the campus at the Pinckney High School, and it'll help with maintenance. And obviously we can line it, and it doesn't have to be rechalked. And it just gives us more options down the field. So I'm excited about that. And like I said, there's other pieces to the athletic piece. We are going to create, just before I move on, some restrooms. They're kind of like portable. They're not porta-johns, but it's almost kind of like a mobile home, but for restrooms where we can get it built. It's a structure that's going to be by the softball fields, tennis courts at the high school. Once again, those are accessed a lot on the spring, summer, and fall. And, unfortunately, there hasn't been adequate restroom facilities there. So we want to put something there that looks good, is comfortable for folks, and once again, help support those who are either participating or spectating athletic event in that area. And capital outlay, once again, capital outlay is a important piece of the puzzle, and that's just a fancy word for projects. What kind of things that we need, just big projects that we have to do. And the biggest one, and you'll see this later in a slide, is just we have to replace our whole fleet over a period of time of our buses. And those are extremely expensive items. We're looking at 25 buses. It's not going to be a one-time purchase. It is going to be something we're going to spread out over a period of time, but we do need to replace those buses. We need to, provide air conditioning. We have special buses that help support our students with special needs. And then we also want our buses looking nice, and we do have a wash facility, but it needs to be updated and enhanced. And so where we can wash our buses and take care of them on a regular basis. And as I already stated as well, we want to increase the security measures on our buses with cameras. We're also looking at some possibilities down the road of software for GPS where parents can utilize their cell phones. Very similar to many of us have the 360 app where you can kind of keep tabs on things. And so, that's another area we're going to take a look at. And then food service, just our kitchen equipment. If you live here, you know how hard the water is. There's a lot of rust, and it just totally destroys our dishwashers and anything that has water running through it. And we just recently had to replace dishwashers at Pathfinder and Farley. And there's other areas in districts we're going to have to do the same along with refrigeration. So just key projects, key things we have to replace, and very similar to what we have to do in our own homes.